Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul, and I am a nerd, and you are not. And that's why you're here, because you want all of our nerdiness to wash over you and make you into Tabs 3 experts. And so you have shown up here for the Tabs 3 virtual user group meeting for, April, right, Mary Jo? Temperature outside is what, 42? No, it's not that bad. It's actually warm today. So you're here for the April 2016 Tabs 3 virtual user group meeting, where today we are talking about the new general ledger report options that Mary Jo will excitedly describe to you because she is quite excited about them. And I will show you something even more, the new journal entry pre-fill, where you can start typing something and instantly your whole journal entry appears before your very eyes because you've done the exact same thing before. And so now, without further ado, I will press all of the magic buttons, and perhaps you didn't know there are many of them. There's one, there's another, there's a third, there's a fourth. And I'm going to get over here to General Ledger, or at least get almost there, like maybe there, and turn it over to Mary Jo so she can talk about the new GL report options.
Okay. Wow, that seems like a lot of stuff till we get to this meat, doesn't it? I don't know. All right. So in version 18, I'm going to talk about a few of the new date range features in all of the general ledger reports. So we have in the general ledger report, the trial balance, balance sheet, income statement. I call those the big four. We're going to talk about all of these. So in general ledger, the first thing that I want to go over is the account features that you can pick from now. You can go ahead and leave it as a radial button that is all accounts, and you also can include accrual accounts if you're doing accrual accounting. I want to say most of our clients are using date-based and you're not really using accrual, but if you are, you're cash-based, I should say. So that may or may not apply to you. But what is really cool here is we can now select accounts. So where before you had to either put in one account to one account or a range, and that range had to be in order, we now can pick and choose what accounts that we want to have included in this report. So I may want my cash account, so my operating account, and I might want something else that is way down here in expenses or liabilities, and I could start picking and choosing randomly whichever ones I want. I don't have to just have a range, and I don't have to have one. I can pick and choose here. So that's the first thing. The second option here is to just select an account. So we can still go back and instead of doing, the operating account to the operating account, I could just type in that number or I could select it off of here. So I'm selecting one account at this point. So I can go in and say I just want just the operating account, and then I'm just going to have that. So 3 different options, all accounts. You can pick and choose, and this could be one or more accounts that you're selecting, or I can specifically type in an account number or choose it from the drop-down and do one that way. This bottom part is another big deal. Before with departments, you either had all or you could do 1 to 2, or again, that range, you couldn't pick and choose. Where now I can say I want to do department 1, 5, and 9. And I could just choose those departments off the list and run the whatever report it is by that departments I chose. Or I can pick one and say I just want department 1 or I want department 5 or whatever. But I can do multiples or singles. And again, that is huge. And being able to get down to what you actually want to see on the report. The next thing that I want to talk about is the dates. Before, we always had to choose up here at the top the year that we wanted to run the reports for. So it's either going to be 2016 or maybe I want to go back and do 15 or 14, etc. And I couldn't go across. If I wanted December of 2015 through April 1st, I couldn't do that because it was across 2 different years. And now I can come in and I have the ability to specify a custom range, which could be 11-1 to 2-1 or whatever I want in here. Or there's some preset options in here now. So I can say I just want for today, or I just want the current month, or all of these different things, a certain month, a prior year, a prior quarter, or I could just type in what I want. So all of these different things are preset in there now, which makes it much easier to zero down into exactly what I want here. So that's what I really want to cover in General Ledger, but I want to show you that in a lot of these reports, those things are the same and they carry over. So again, in the trial balance, I can do the same exact thing with picking and choosing accounts and departments, and I also can do the same thing with the date ranges. So that's available there. In my balance sheet, I have that kind of option as well. Again, same account information that I can pick from. Dates, I have a little bit more options here. I do still have the same thing here in a balance as of a certain date, but I also can include columns for each month, and I can go since a certain time. So I can go back and just do, I want all of the month by month column ranges from December 1st through, or I'm sorry, January 1st through December 31st. And it would break that down month by month for me. So that's a new feature here. And then you also can include periods in this. I want to just include 1 month, you know, for all of this, or another period here that I want to do 2 months prior, 2 years prior, whatever I want there. So just a few new things in the balance sheet that weren't there before, but the same account choices that you had over here. And lastly, we'll do the income statement. And on the income statement, same thing with the account range and department range, but then, and the same thing on the date range here as well. And then I can also include these columns for months. So as long as I'm going over, let me pick a range. I'm going to do the current quarter, current year. As long as I pick something that's more than 1 month, I can also include columns for each month. So I can split that income statement out from each month and get the totals all on one report. So I don't have to go back and do an income statement for January, go back and do one for February. I can just do it January through February and get each of the totals in columns there. So huge, huge, huge way that we can now get a much broader range than we could before, and we can also be very specific on what we want. Paul?
That's awesome. That's been something that has been a problem for certain people for years and years, having to pick those ranges. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but if you have certain accounts you want to print but not the ones in between, or certain departments you want to print but only 3 out of 7, you used to have to go and run it 3 times. So this is huge. Also, that including the columns for each month or quarter or year, that's huge. I used this the other day. I wanted to see every month from 2015 on an income statement and not have to go in and print 12 different reports. And so this was huge to me. I'm going to show you something that's another wow from version 18, and it's pre-filled journal entries. Now, you know, that doesn't sound all that great until you're the person who's done the payroll entry. So let's do it for the payroll entry. I'm going to go into the journal entry section. I'm going to create a new entry with, let's say, today's date. Keep in mind our system thinks today is 11/17/2014. We have not stepped into a time machine. We are not back in November of 2014. This is just where our demo data lives. And I'm going to go down and select the payroll account. And I'm going to start typing payroll, or P is really all I typed. And it gives me a list of all the entries I've made in the past with a debit against the payroll account, or well, against the payroll account, where the description started with P. And I'm going to choose payroll April. I could choose any of these. I'm really just replicating one of these given payroll entries. And look what happens. Bam. This is the entire payroll entry from April, the last April payroll entry that we made. Okay. I could then change this to say something like payroll May or whatever I want it to say. And I have now a situation where all I have to do, I do not have to enter each of these accounts. I don't have to line these up the way I want them to be. I just go in and change the dollar amounts. Or if I happen to have a period that is identical to last pay period, which happens occasionally, I just leave these amounts exactly the way they are. Now, when I do this, I'm going to go ahead and bop out of here and not save and kind of cancel out. And I'm going to come right back in. I'm going to do the same thing. But let's say that I'm going to start a new entry. I'm going to use the payroll account. And let's say that payroll this time was 102,351.98. I'm going to mimic it again. And you see what it does here? It says, okay, you entered a different number up here, so I'm going to assume that all the other entries are 0. Not 0, but that you're going to fill them in yourself. Now, this is good if you have a payroll that's not identical to another period, and you want it to not give you pre-filled numbers. Why wouldn't you want pre-filled numbers? Because it's going to type over them anyways. With pre-filled numbers there, it's harder to tell what you've filled in and what you haven't. So by putting the zeros in here, you're able to say, yep, I got to put this number in, and this number, and then this number. And you can see with this one still being a 0 that you forgot it, you skipped it, instead of just kind of assuming that you got them all right. Makes it easier. And of course, payroll isn't the only entry you would do this for. In fact, you'll find yourself with every manual journal entry, or virtually every manual journal entry that you make, you'll find yourself using the pre-fill feature. But payroll's the most spectacular because it's the one that's got dozens, sometimes couple or 2 or 3 dozen. This is a huge payroll entry. Of course, this is a sample entry. This is the biggie. This is the one that's so hard to recreate simply because it's got all those accounts. And now you don't have to do it. You simply use the pre-fill feature. And so there it is. 2 wows in under 16 minutes. That just goes to show you how wow they are, because they're so very simple to show. They're huge to the people that are dealing with these things, and yet they're easy to describe. And the reason they're easy to describe is because they're so revolutionary. They are so time-saving. Leanne has informed me, and she has interrupted me at just the opportune time that she has a question. What do you got, Leanne? Okay, she says she's either muted or she's got a problem with her headset. Hold on.
Oh, wait. Here I am. Sorry about that. My buttons didn't work. Anyway, I have used, here's the question. Are you ready, Paul?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I have used the pre-fill feature in GL, but would like to know how to delete a line. So I have used a pre-fill line that has a misspelling, and it's at the top of my choices. How do I get rid of the misspelling?
Well, oh, you mean so that next time it doesn't have the misspelling?
That sounds right.
Mary Jo, do you? Yeah, I think if you modify the journal. For instance, I changed this before to May, and so I can change these. You can change these entries.
I would go back to the original entry, because even if it's been reconciled or whatever, you can still change the description. And so I go back to the original entry, change that description so that then that's right, and then it should come forward whenever you're pre-filling again.
So what you're saying, Mary Jo, is actually go into journal entries, find that particular payroll entry. I'm going to sort by description and then drag it down here. So find whatever pay M comes before R. I always had trouble with that. So we're going to find this payroll for, let's say, the April one.
Oops, one more down. There you go.
And pull it up. And then make the change in here, correct the spelling, and then save it. And then when you do the pre-fill again, it'll come up right. I like that.
Yep.
Now, I think what she may have been asking in her other question is, okay, so I've got one. I'm going to get back out of here again and come back into a fresh entry. So I've got a new one, and I did mean to do payroll. And I get in here and I type payroll, and I get the April payroll. And that's perfect. That's exactly what I want, except I want to get rid of this one line. How do I do that?
Just delete that line. You would just come in and edit that. So which line did you want to get rid of? So this one.
Anyone.
Yeah. So if I just wanted to get rid of it. Now, of course, I still have to be in balance. So I'm going to go ahead out. I think I have to do the amount first. Let me cancel that for a sec. We're in that spinny thing here we were just talking about, Paul. Let me go back in and do payroll. And that's fine. Whoops. course, I picked the wrong thing there. Payroll for April. So I think I have to take the amount out first. No, this doesn't have an amount, but if I get rid of that and all my descriptions and everything, or I don't know if you can just take out and edit and delete the line. I can't do it there. You know, I might have to look into that, but there, delete. So I can just delete that. You sure you want to delete this row?
There we go.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So I know it's under edit, delete. And you can just delete
and I think
that
it's also
row.
this trash can that's right up here.
Yeah, you can do that as well.
So you want to get your cursor on that row and then hit the trash can and say, yes, I want to delete the row. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
Any follow-up questions, Leanne? Any other questions?
No, no more questions.
Okay. Awesome. Well, I do want to tell you that next month in our TABS virtual user group meeting, when we're certain that it'll be above 50 degrees, we're not just wondering, we're certain, we're going to talk about the enhanced reconciliation and the date-based reports in tabs. So we're going to talk about, again, 2 more things that are brand new in version 18. Mary Jo will talk about the enhanced reconciliation, I'm guessing, because that's her thing. And I'm going to talk about the date-based reports because I'm just so excited about them. We also want you to know that if you go to our website, which is attorneycomputersystems.com, with an emphasis on that S at the end, that you will find right here a list of all of our video titles or video groups, if you will. We have our water cooler virtual user group meetings. You're currently attending the tabs 3. We also have one for Practice Master. We have one for World Docs. We have our Coffee Pot webinars. These first 4 are our live events. You can attend these when they're being taped, or you can watch them after the fact. These 2 bottom, the eBytes video series and the Paul and Mary Jo show, these are actually pre-recorded. They don't occur live. We do not have a live studio audience for the Paul and Mary Jo show or the eBytes video series. These, of course, are our 3 virtual user group meetings on tabs, Practice Master, and World Docs. I have a monthly webinar where we've kind of changed the format the last couple months, and we're going to continue. We will have special guests come in and show us their cool product that enhances Practice Master or tabs or World Docs. This coming month, we have somebody from Legal Anywhere talking about their intranet product. And the month after, I believe we have people from Belfield coming in to talk about iTimekeep. The eBytes video series is something Mary Jo records. She does 3 of these each month. They're very short, 3 or 4 minutes. And they take a very specific thing and say, hey, look at this. Look at this cool thing that you can do in Practice Master or tabs or World Docs. And then we have the Paul and Mary Jo show, which is a longer format broadcast where Mary Jo or I will take a topic and that's broader and spend 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes going into great depth. Now, if you look at one of these live events like the Tabs 3 virtual user group meeting, what you will find is that at the first, the first entry you'll find is registration for the next event. This is April, but sometime tomorrow this will change to May. And then as you scroll down, you will see eventually, as we get them out of post-production, actual recorded versions of every title that we've had in that group ever. So the Bugs, the Coffee Pot webinars, the Paul and Mary Jo show, the eBytes, they all have monthly content that's been put on there every month since the time we started doing this, which was years and years ago. Now, we also have the ability to search, so if you simply want to find something about email and statements, you type email in here. You can either wait for it to build a list and then choose from the list, or you can view all the results, and it will take you to a list of everything that has the word email or whatever you're searching for in the description. So there it is. Be sure to take advantage of this content. It's not only here for you to attend live, it's here after the fact too, so you can always go back to it. You can always rewatch something, or if you miss something, or if you just want to scroll through here and browse and find something that interests you, it's there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Please take advantage of it. And so that's it for today. Everybody have a good rest of the day, good rest of the month, and we will see you in May. Thanks much. Bye-bye.